Hi, my name is Cillian Lohan, and I'm very pleased to be here as part of this important Earth Day and for this event on UN Harmony with Nature. I want to talk to you today about rights of nature. I think this is a really important tool to help us create transformative change. We talk a lot about sustainable development, about climate justice, about particular initiatives like circular economy, meaning that we want to reduce our dependency on virgin raw materials and stop an economy that's based on extracting from nature and creating a throwaway society. All of these things can come together and work in order to create the change that we need. But it's important that we have the missing element included, which is rights directly given to natural ecosystems and to nature itself. The reason I argue for this is because we see that sustainable development has become top of the agenda. We see so many countries signed up to the UN Sustainable Development Goals and reporting on how they're achieving them regularly. But we also see the use of sustainability as a word that's used too loosely and sometimes misused or abused. We hear about sustainable economies and we hear about sustainable finance, for example. But we need to be talking about an economy based on sustainable development or finance based on sustainable development. And what do we mean by sustainable development? Well, many of you will know very well that we mean balancing economy and society and the environment. Each of those three pillars of sustainable development given equal weight and measurement. And indeed, in a more modern interpretation of sustainable development, we realise that our societies and economy can't function unless we have a stable functioning environment. And when we look at how we get fairness or justice in our systems that we've created as a society, we look to the judicial system. We go to the courts when we can't find an amicable way of resolving our differences. And in that court system, within that legal system, we have rights for human beings, we have rights for companies, legal recognition of corporate entities, but we don't have rights directly for nature. It is for this reason that I think it is important, so that each of the elements of sustainable development are equally represented in our system that we've created, our legal system that brings us justice and brings us fairness. This is important in order for us to achieve climate justice that we talk about so much, but that we sometimes find it hard to translate into a practical implementation. I hope that the conversations we're having around this event and many others will help us progress towards achieving rights directly for nature, because that's what can create the transformation, and that's what we need to ensure that sustainable development is at the centre of all the different initiatives that we have, and that we have a way of achieving fairness and justice that is balanced across all the different elements that we need to balance. Thank you again for the invite to address you briefly today, and I look forward to working with many of the audience on these different topics in times ahead.